Good morning to all the class 5 students. In this video we are going to discuss about chapter number 5, which is your food, health and safety. So let us begin. What do we mean by food and what do we mean by health, and then later on we will be talking about the safety measures. So food is what? Food is any kind of substance which we eat for our growth purposes and for giving energy is called as your food. You can say food is the substance which we eat, which we take it in our daily diet for our energy and for our growth of the body. That is called as a food. So in the food we have the nutrients products is present in the food. So what do we mean by nutrients? Foods have various nutrients like proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins are present in the food component. So nutrient is another, you can say simply nutrient is a substance or important substance which is present in the food component. And the important substances or components of the food is protein, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins and minerals, so on. These are the various kinds of substances. As you can see, it is given the components of the food are proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins and minerals. So we will be talking about in which substances proteins are present. Protein is required by our body for the growth of the body, and so it is mainly required for the growth of the body and for the formation of your teeth, bones and so on. So protein are called as the body building foods, and protein are mainly present in pulses, egg, meat, fish and so on. Next what we have to talk about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, they are mainly present in the food components like starch products, glucose components. So example of carbohydrates will be starch is present mainly in rice, potato and so on. These are the components in which the carbohydrates are present. Next is fats. Fats are mainly present in your oily components. So fats is mainly present in your oily components, and remember carbohydrates and fats, they are the energy giving food they are called as the energy giving foods because they provide energy to our body. Next is what? Fruits. So vitamins is what? Vitamins are mainly present. Vitamins is required by our body in small quantity. So they are mainly present in the fruits component. So vitamins are mainly present in your fruits component. So vitamins should be taken in a regular basis in a small quantity, not in a large quantity. It should be taken in a small quantity. Next is about the minerals. So minerals are what? You might be confused or you have heard about for the first time minerals. So minerals is what? Minerals, they are mainly, you can see the components which are obtained from the earth's crust, they are called as the minerals. But here we are talking about what? Iron, as you can see, iron, calcium and so on. There are many other minerals which is present. So even these minerals should be taken, it is required by our body. So you know that doctor used to prescribe calcium tablets, iron tablets, so on. So why they prescribe that one? Because a body or a person is suffering, lacking from that kind of minerals. That is why calcium or iron tablet is prescribed by the doctor to a particular person. So calcium and mineral is required for the formation of your teeth, for your bones. Iron is required for the formation of your blood, that is which is present in your hemoglobin. So even minerals are required in a small quantity which is required by our body. So minerals are also required by our body, but it is required in a small quantity, and this should also be taken in a small quantity on a daily basis. So this is all about your food components. Next is what? The next topic is your balanced diet. So what is balanced diet? Balanced diet is nothing but a food component or a diet which contains all the right amount of nutrients is called as a balanced diet. So we take our food on a daily basis, that is called as a diet. But that diet which contains all the right amounts of proteins, right amounts of nutrients means what? Carbohydrates, fats, vitamins and minerals. All these components of the food should be present in your diet. That is called as a balanced diet. So right amount of nutrients which is present in the food component is called as a balanced diet. Next is exercise and rest. So exercise and rest is what? Exercise and rest, so it is a very common term. Every one of us knows what do we mean by exercise and what do we mean by rest. So exercise, but still on, exercise means what? A regular workout which a person does on a regular basis is called as an exercise. You can say like walking, also jumping, somebody they used to do skipping and all these things which is done on a regular basis. Some persons prefer going to gyms for keeping their body fit. So that kind of workout is called as an exercise. So all the regular workout to keep the body physically fit is called as an exercise, and after exercise then we should take a rest. So even rest is required by our body. So rest is a position of the state in which the body does not do any kind of work. That means what ki when you are in the state of rest, you are not doing any kind of work. You are in the complete state of rest. So even exercise and rest is both required by our body very essentially. So these are the topics which is related with your chapter balance diet, exercise and rest. And then next we have to talk about the deficiency disease. Deficiency disease means what? Deficiency diseases is classified into two types. One is your communicable disease and the other one is your non-communicable disease. When we are talking about the deficiency disease means those the disease which is caused due to the lack of proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals. That means what ki the disease caused due to the lack of the nutrients by a human body is called as a deficiency disease. Due to the lack of nutrients means all kind of nutrients it will be including, not only one component will be there, but it will be all proteins, fats, carbohydrates and so on, all the nutrients. If the person lacks in any kind of the nutrients, then they will be suffering from some kind of disease, and that disease is called as your deficiency disease. So deficiency disease is the disease which is caused due to the lack of the nutrients in the food component. That is deficiency disease. Further, deficiency disease is classified into two types. One is communicable disease and the other one is your non-communicable disease. Communicable disease means what? Those diseases which spread from one person to the another person through direct contact is called as your communicable disease. Example is your cough. When you are coughing, if you have not covered your mouth with an handkerchief, then what will happen? That cough, the virus will spread to the another person, and he will be the other person will also be infected with the cough and cold. So cough and cold, sneezing, all these kind of diseases are communicable diseases. And non-communicable disease is what? Those diseases which do not suffer, get infected from one person to the another person are called as your non-communicable diseases. So non-communicable disease can be what? Malaria, that kind of disease will be non-communicable disease. So on, and many other are there of non-communicable diseases. Now we should talk about how to prevent from the diseases caused by the deficiency of the disease, or you can say how can we prevent from communicable disease or non-communicable disease. What are the prevention method and what are the treatment of the diseases. So prevention and treatment of the disease can be done. The houses should be, first of all, the treatment is used to begin from the house itself. So the houses should be disinfected. Disinfected means what? Your house should be neat and clean. That means your ventilator should be open and you should sanitize your house each and every day with your phenyl, sanitizer, Dettol, hand wash. All these things should be kept in your home for proper sanitization of your home. Next is drinking water should be clean and pure. Even the water which we drink should be clean and pure. The food should be not communicated. It should not be contaminated. It should be free from any kind of mosquitoes, flies that should not infect your food components. Water should not stagnate in bundles. That means what? The dirty water should not gather around your houses, and then the children should be vaccinated against the disease. And especially the children, they used to suffer from the disease. That is why the children should be vaccinated in a proper way. Next, we have to talk about what? Correct posture and hygiene. So correct posture means what? When we are sitting, we should sit in a very correct posture so that our backbone does not bend. If our backbone bends, then what will the shape of the body becomes very dismannered. That means it does not look good, and even it will affect upon your growth, development of the growth used to slow down. So correct posture is very necessary for the growth of the body. Correct posture is also essential to remain healthy also. Incorrect posture over a long period of time may lead to illness. So incorrect posture, if you are not sitting properly, or if you are bending, you will be observing that you will start getting a backbone pain. So correct posture is very necessary. So these are the facts related to your correct posture. Next is about the hygiene. What do we mean by hygiene? Hygiene is nothing but it is a maintenance of health and cleanliness. That means what? If you are physically fit, that means you are physically neat and clean, and even if your houses or surroundings are very much clean, that is called as your hygiene. So hygiene is a maintenance of health and cleanliness. It refers to the steps that we take to keep ourselves clean and healthy. So hygiene is nothing but it refers to the steps which we take to keep ourselves clean and healthy. So what will be the various kinds of steps which we can take for maintaining a proper hygiene? You wash your hands frequently, wash your room, mop your floors, all these things should be there. Wash thoroughly food materials before eating fruits and so on. These are some of the things. Trim your nails and so on. These are the things which you should do while maintaining a proper hygiene. Next we have to talk about, so now we will be talking about first aid. This is the last topic about we have gone into the safety measures. So to talk about safety measures, we have to first talk about the first aid. So what do we mean by first aid? First aid means it is an immediate help which is given to a person when he or she is injured. So the first help which is provided by a person when he or she is in injured state, that kind of treatment is called as your first aid. So first aid is the first or immediate help given to an injured person before he or she is taken to a hospital. So this is a first aid. So first aid is given to, in which conditions first aids are given? First aid is supplied to a person when he has suffered from burns, fire, fractures or animal bites. So these are the cases when the first aid is given to a person. So we will be discussing one by one about the first aid measures and what are the safety measures related with this. So when let us begin with the burns. When a person has suffered from burns, how should we give our safety measure, or you can say what would be the first aid given to a person when he is suffered from a burns? So the first aid, the person should be moved from the burn area. So he should be removed from the burn area and moved away from the fireplaces. So it should be taken away from the fire. The burn should be cooled down by running cold water, and then it should be applied with antiseptics, and then you should be if the case is serious, then the person should be taken to an hospital. So these are the measures which should be taken while a person is injured with the burns. Now similar cases will be in case of a fire also, when we are suffering. So like the cases we have discussed about the burns, the same cases will be as for the fire also. The person should be removed from the fireplaces. He should be, if the person has got wounds, then he should be washed with the antiseptics spirits, and then applied with the antiseptic creams, and then bandage. The wound should be bandaged over, and then if the case is serious, then he should be taken to a hospital. So these are the cases. The only different thing is fractures and animal bites. So what are the first aid which should be given with a fractured person, and then when a person goes an animal bites. So fracture cases we got, try to calm the injured person. When a person get a fracture, that means if he has suffered from leg fracture or a hand fracture, then do not massage the fractured area. We should not massage a fractured area. We have observed whenever a person gets a fracture, the old people, they used to say massage should be given, but this should not be done. Massaging should not be done to the fractured area, because it will make worse. The fracture will be worse by massaging the fractured area. Then ice may be applied to cool the swelling. So you can apply ice to cool the swelling of the fractured area. Then use a cloth sling to prevent movement in case of fracture. So cloth sling can be used to lower down the pain of a fractured area, and then take the person to the doctor. So these are the first aid which should be applied, given to a person when he is suffered from the fractures. Now the last one is your animal bites. When we are talking about the animal bites, means animal bites can a dog also, rabbit also. So any kind of an animal bites, then what will be the first aid that should be provided to a person? So in case of animal bite, wash the wound with soap and water. Apply an antiseptic cream on the wound, cover it with a clean bandage, and take the patient to the hospital. When someone is bitten by a snake, tie a tight bandage just above the wound to slow down the spread of poison in the body. The victim should be taken immediately to the hospital. In case of snake bite, the victim should be taken immediately to the hospital, and the place where the snake has bite, that should be tied very tightly in order to stop the flow of the poison into the whole body. Because if you do not tie that portion, what will happen? The poison will quickly spread into the whole body. So it should be tied very tightly so that it will stop the poison to flow into our whole body through the blood. So these are some of the cases where the first aid should be given to a person. So first aid should be given to a person when he is get injured with burns, fire, fractures and animal bites. With this we have ended with our chapter number 5. You watch the video and even go through your book so that you will have a very strong concept about chapter number 5. Thank you.